Today, we are going to cover three main topics. First, CrossSwap. What do they do? Why am I so bullish? And what is their market cap? We need to deduce this information. Boom. Number two, BlueZilla. We know they're anonymous, but what can we deduce with the information that we have at present to give us more faith and confidence? And number three, we're going to look at Velas, a top blockchain, what's happening with the price action and why is it shooting up. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is JGM, the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008. Used to focus only on currencies, but now exclusive on cryptocurrency. So let's dive in initially with CrossSwap. I've been reading your comments. Yes, I respond to every one of your comments on YouTube. And one of the things was, Jagir, what's the accurate market cap of CrossSwap? Now, I've got some information, so we're going to see what can we deduce, because I don't think CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap are 100% accurate right now because the project's been out since August. So August 7th, what we know is the initial market cap was $50,000. We know that. This is the official post back in August. It was launched on August 27th, and we know the project was launched on BSC Pad, ETH Pad, and KCC Pad exclusively. So what we want to look at here is, I want to break it down. How many tokens were released with each of these pads, and what information do we have, and what can we deduce? Well, 10 million tokens was released for BSC Pad, plus an extra million for 1.1 million for the BSC Pad Blue Diamond members, which was a private sale. 10 million for ETH Pad, 10 million for KCC Pad. So that's all public information. Now, at the token generation event, 10% of tokens were released. So if we do the math, I've just been working this out. I used to be a math teacher back in the day, so just did the math for you so we can get as accurate as we can. The price at the token generation event was 1 cent. So CrossSwap was 1 cent at the IDO. That means 311,000. 10% was released at token generation event, which meant 31,000 market cap from these tokens. That means there was another 18 million tokens, which must have been private sales and seed rounds, etc., etc. So what we can deduce at token generation event, there must have been another $19,000 worth of tokens. So if we take that into account, what we can calculate is that there was a total of around 51 million tokens, and most of the tokens have now been given out. Almost all the public sale IDO has now been given out since 27th of December. The private round Blue Diamond, they've still got 2 more allocations, this January 27th and February 27th. This is only a tiny amount. So today's price of CrossSwap, I think it's below 20 cents right now, but let's just say 20 cents, give or take. The approximate market cap is going to be closer to 10 million. I know I said 3 million in the last video, but it's around 10 million, just taking these factors into account. So we know the minimum market cap should be around 10 million. We did a comparison with PancakeSwap. Now, today's market cap of PancakeSwap is around the $3 billion market cap level. So for CrossSwap of today's price to get to the same size as PancakeSwap of today's price, it would need to do a 300x, right? 10 million market cap going to a $3 billion market cap. So it gives us a bit of a, maybe a bit more of an accurate picture. So to get 100x, CrossSwap will need to do at least, or be the size of at least 1/3, 33% of PancakeSwap. So there we have it. Just some information on, let's just get the information a bit more accurate with the information that we have. I'm still waiting for the official circulating supply to be updated on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. So this is what we have. But what I want to do next is I want to dive into an article that was released by CrossSwap, but then it was retracted. So it was in draft, but I've still got the link. So I thought it would be great because I don't know if they're going to release it again later on. But I thought it was a brilliant article to kind of really do a comparison between centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. It's a 3-minute read. They say, wishing you a very happy new year and a bullish 2022. Yes, hopefully everyone has a bullish 2022. So let's read this. I'm just going to have a sip of water because I'm going to read this. I've had this tickle in my throat. So I want to see if I can read this in one go. All right, the dawn of the DEXs and CrossSwap. Ever since 2009, when the concept of digital blockchain currency was first derived, a amount of progress and development occurred over the years. In the beginning, there was just one main way of trading digital currencies. So back in the day, by the route of centralized exchanges, CEXs, SEXs, that is, or KEXs, is centralized exchanges. However, with the expansion of decentralized finance, DeFi, a non-custodial approach appeared on the horizon, decentralized exchanges, which is DEXs. The hype of DeFi enriched users or users' experience and paved the way for decentralized exchanges to an important role in the history of digital currency. Uniswap is by far the closest rival to the mainstream centralized exchanges such as Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, there's a few others like crypto.com, etc. And today, more and more decentralized exchanges are rising to the challenge. How is this possible? A close look at the advantages and disadvantages between centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges should help. So we'll look at the pros and the cons. So centralized exchange, what's the pros? And there are pros. User-friendly interface with a quick process and internalizations. Easy access to trading options with a larger range of options and cryptocurrencies. Now, it's not always a larger range, by the way, but in the past, it definitely did have a larger range. High volume, this is the key one. High volume and liquidity, so users are guaranteed friendlier buy and sell trading. So you can get your order fulfilled. Central structure means fast transaction times, wider range of trading pairs, and this is a big one, fiat withdrawals. So you can withdraw your pounds, your dollars, and deposits are also possible. So it's a fiat to crypto gateway. So Kraken, Coinbase, Binance all have that. But what are the cons? No control of the asset, as these are stored directly on the exchange. No private key ownership, so risk of total loss if exchange gets compromised. So if the exchange gets hacked, it's a centralized exchange, you can lose all your crypto. It's happened many, many times. There's many, many big case studies of that. With that said, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, they're all very, very safe. Liable for regulatory measures such as KYC and other regulatory controls. That's the big one. That's the big downside. Decentralized exchanges. What are the pros? What are the pros? Well, there's no KYC, no know your customer required. Full anonymity. No exchange of personal data required. No third parties involved. So it's totally decentralized. So you're interacting directly with the blockchain. Users are free from governmental requirements, regulations, and monitoring. Users have full access to their private keys and their assets. So you have full custody. Low cost of trading with decentralized server networks, making server failures and inaccessibility almost impossible. Now, we know with Ethereum gas fees, with Uniswap, it can be quite expensive, but with the new blockchains, whether it's Binance Smart Chain, whether it's Velas and some others, it's much cheaper. Decentralized server networks reduces risk of centralized server attacks. But what are the cons? Well, slower trades, as these are off-chain rather than on-chain, as with centralized counterparts. Each transaction must be validated, making reactions to fast-changing market unsuitable. Some decentralized exchanges can suffer from lower liquidity. Liquidity meaning how fast can you convert it to cash or convert it to another cryptocurrency. User interfaces not often user-friendly. It has been a massive improvement in the last few years. Trade options such as limit orders, this is a big one. Limit orders, options, and stop losses are not yet available. So that's really, really important. That's where centralized exchanges are on a different level. So rise of DEXs, rise of decentralized exchanges. Despite the two major shortcomings of DEXs in terms of limited trade options and reduced liquidity, there are two key factors that lead to the popularity of decentralized exchanges: full control and anonymity. So you have full custody of your assets and it's anonymous. Very, very important. Considering the life cycle of digital currencies, the rise in user preference for decentralized trading only became apparent recently, where 2021 seemed to have triggered a new trend. The year 2022 is yet to take the future of decentralized exchanges into a new expansion. So what we see in this chart, this is from the blockcrypto.com, is back in, well, before 2019, less than 1% of all spot trades were done via decentralized exchanges, and it's almost gone as high as, at the beginning or the mid to end 2020, as high as 20%. And this year we're probably going to see it exceed 20%. So we know there's a popularity in decentralized exchanges. People love and like to have that control and stay anonymous. So stay anonymous and have full custody of your assets. So what is CrossSwap? What are they doing? Are they just another DEX? Is it just like PancakeSwap? Or are they doing something new that's going to help projects and help other investors like you and I? So CrossSwap is a decentralized exchange, no longer restrained by the general limit of low liquidity. In fact, This is the first ever decentralized exchange to take cross-chain trading experience to a whole new level with features for traders and projects never seen before. So this is really, really key, because we just, if it's just doing the same thing as PancakeSwap, then it's just, they're just going to fight for the same customers. But here, they're launching new features that have never been seen before. The key technology and mechanics of CrossSwap enables it to host a wide range of token types, higher trade volumes, and liquidity, as well as anti-cheat systems. Now, I've done a lot of IDOs. I've, in the BlueZilla ecosystem, in other ecosystems, in terms of launch pads, and many projects almost make a mistake. Like I've seen it lots and lots of time, make a mistake, and the whole project flops just because the person pressed the button too soon and everything else. So here it says its core features. So CrossSwap's core feature, or features such as pre-launch staging area, automatic liquidity lock-in, which is going to protect us from rug pulls, and anti-sniping technology makes it appealing to not just traders and everyday crypto users, but also projects looking for successful launches. So they are solving a meaningful problem in an area where lots of new projects are launching, but the current DEXs make it very difficult, and there's a lot of risk associated that we often don't see. But because the BlueZilla ecosystem they've literally launched over 100 different projects themselves and incubated projects, they've seen these problems firsthand, and they said, look, let's just solve it by incubating a project. And that's one of the reasons I'm so bullish on CrossSwap. So next up, what we're going to look at is the BlueZilla team, right? They're an anonymous team. PancakeSwap are also anonymous. CrossSwap are also anonymous. SushiSwap are also anonymous. There's many projects out there that are anonymous. But we can get some extra confidence by looking at the BlueZilla.vc website, looking at what they've done, who they've partnered with, and some of these other partnerships are not anonymous. So we can kind of connect the dots to say, okay, this is safe, it's secure, and these guys know what they're doing. Because I'm reading your comments, and I know some of you, it concerns you that they're anonymous. So BlueZilla, we invest and incubate. That's what they do. I'm just going to scroll down. Beautiful website. They're just pros at launching, right? They got 10 launch pads now, including the KCC pad. Got this tickle in my throat. It's been killing me all day. I'm going to need another sip. Bear with me. So they've really specialized initially at the niche of launching projects, starting with BSC pad, and now they've got 10 different launch pads. They do a lot of stuff from marketing, influencer networking, development, design, everything else. But they've also incubated their own projects, right? So they've launched other projects, third-party projects on their launch pads, but they've also incubated many projects. So we can see the projects that they've incubated. And one of them here is CrossSwap, right? Because they're solving meaningful problems in the space of blockchain, in the space of decentralized finance, play to earn, NFTs, and everything else. Now the metaverse also. And CrossSwap has done a 99x, right? 99x. So we can't hide that fact. It went from 1 cent to almost 99 cents. So it's 99x that is done. But I think it's just the beginning. But the thing I wanted to focus on here was actually the bottom. Strategic partnerships. Most people don't realize that the BlueZilla team have a direct partnership with Velas, the Velas blockchain. Yes. And the Velas blockchain is a big project, a big deal. It's based on the Solana code base. I want to jump into Velas now, and we're going to look at some price action as well. But what I'm aiming to do here is just connect some dots for you, because I read all your comments, and some of you are very optimistic, some of you are a bit more pessimistic, and some of you are using terms and not connecting these dots. And I think it's absolutely paramount that we see that this is the real deal, strategic partnership with Velas. So if we jump onto the Velas website, they are fastest EVM chain to compete with Ethereum 2.0. So it's a fork of the Solana code. So it says here, a fork of Solana with embedded EVM integration, mainnet launch in 2019. But what I want to focus with Velas is recently they announced Velas powers into Formula One with multi-year Ferrari partnership. So now they are one of the official sponsors of Ferrari. So in Formula One next year, I believe we're going to see Velas on the Ferrari F1 Formula One team car, right? And we can read this article. You can go to the website. If you go to the Velas website and you scroll down, you'll see they've got lots of information, one of which is here. Velas powers into Formula One with multi-year Scuderia Ferrari partnership. And you can read the whole article. Again, the reason I'm showing you this, it just brings a level of credibility, because Velas, they initially had a $5 million grant to help projects incubate and build on the Velas blockchain. They've increased that 5 million to 100 million now. So now it's moving to a whole new level. And now they've also crossed the $1 billion market cap mark. They've been there before. Now they just crossed it again. So I think Velas is going to probably get into the top 100 cryptocurrencies. Velas Pad, you know, incubated by the BlueZilla ecosystem, is officially endorsed Velas Launchpad. So we know that it's been endorsed, right? So the partnership is there, which gives the whole BlueZilla ecosystem, the Velas, and it's all linked in with CrossSwap, a whole different level of credibility. Now, what I want to finish on today is the Velas token itself. The Velas token itself, because for those of you that are Velas Pad members, whether you're on the lower tier or the higher tier, whatever tier you're on, when you get your APY, which is when you stake your tokens, you get an interest, you get rewards, you actually get paid in VLX tokens. VLX tokens. And recently, the VLX token has been performing, which is Velas, incredibly well. So I just wanted to finish today on some price action. So I actually did a video on Velas. I think it was on November 21st. I've done two. It was November 21st. And I got some good views. And what we said is Velas looks like, if I just pull up a laser over here, it's doing a 1, 2, 3, and we should anticipate a correction of a wave 4. This is what we said down here. And then a continuation to the upside. So we're just going to jump into our live chart because Velas is flying right now. It's absolutely flying. So let's just pull up a live chart. I've just taken the data back to when I did this video. Look at this. I want to show you this really, really clearly. And we want to connect a few dots here as well. Let me just pull this up. I want to go here. So we've got this wave 1, this wave 2. This is back in July 2021. And then it just boomed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is typical Elliott wave pattern. So if you're not familiar with Elliott waves, this is really, really cool at reading the markets and the buying and selling behavior of the markets. And what we said here is when we see a wave 3, a typical wave 3 zone, we should see a pullback for a wave 4. And what happened? I'm just going to now unfold the data. I'm using TradingView, by the way, as a software. It allows us to unfold the data like this. Look what Velas did. It did a nice correction, nice deep correction, as anticipated from November 21st. This is one of the big powers of buying and selling psychology. When you understand when natural, healthy profit taking occurs at certain price ratios, you can really kind of see what's likely to occur next. So we had this big pullback. Now, typically, just so we're really, really clear, wave 4s should not trade, and I said this in that video, into the range of wave 1. Now, the reason I say this is Velas did poke its head just beneath this, I believe. Yeah, just beneath. And then it popped back up. So this is where you have to make a business decision because technically this invalidates the wave count of a 1, 2, 3, 4. But because it was so brief and it's crypto and there's fear of missing out, there's panic buying, there's panic selling, and you can see this is really panic selling, I've deduced that this is still a valid wave 4. And it just is what it is. It just pokes its head down and pokes its head back up. And now, since the Ferrari announcement, which was on December 27th, which is, let's just make this really, really clear for us, because you'll see the power of news announcements, and it also tends to line up with technicals. December 27th is literally here. December 27th is here, which was when this article was released. Velas announced Ferrari premium partnership. You know, you kind of connect the dots. Velas being one of the fastest blockchains, and Ferrari is known for what? Speed, right? Speed. So it's a good partnership. And then what happened? The market just boomed. Look at this. It just kind of shut up. Brilliant. Like, look at this. Brilliant. And this is where today's price action is. So what I wanted to finish on was just kind of give you a flavor of what's likely to occur next. We'll probably see some type of correction at some point soon. But what I want to do is just quickly jump into a weekly chart. Looking at the weekly momentum, you know, I use the weekly momentum. If you're not familiar with technical analysis, I've got our free Elliott and Fibonacci masterclasses in the link below. Kind of breaks a lot of this stuff down. But we've got this bullish sign over here, which is where the momentum has gone bullish, meaning it's pointing upwards basically. So we should expect 3 to 6 weeks of sideways to up. According to the weekly closing data, it's making new highs, but when we go to the daily data, it's like this. But what we should anticipate is this price zone. Let's just do this here. These are typical wave 5 price zone targets. As it unfolds, we'll look closer in, but we're probably going to see some type of correction. Normally what happens, this is really bullish right now. Probably see some type of correction and then a continuation. But the way it's going, it might just shoot straight up because, if we look at some of these other price movements with Velas, like this one, we might see something like this. And also, one of the things we'll notice with crypto in particular is panic buying. And so I want to be overly surprised if this whole thing overshoots. So there you have it. We covered a lot today, but I wanted to kind of really put a lot of people's minds at rest because sometimes, fear of missing out, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, optimism, pessimism, that's a real thing, and speculation does drive the market, supply and demand. But what I wanted to clarify today was CrossSwap is a powerhouse project. Whether you like it or not, whether you love the BlueZilla ecosystem or you don't, whether you love the fact that they're just staying really focused or the fact that they're not communicating that much in the Telegram channels, and I know that, and I'm fully aware of that as well. What we can't really deny is there's a need for this project, the staging areas, the anti-sniping, the bot prevention rounds, to help projects launch successfully. Liquidity, like locking liquidity. So when a project launches, they've got a mechanism that locks liquidity. So it means there should be no rug pulls, right? So that's what they're aiming to really solve. So we've also now got more accurate market cap data. It's around 51 million tokens is my best guess on what's in circulation right now, but I'm waiting for the official number. So we know the market cap is around $10 million, but we can see, it's probably going to shoot. They haven't announced their hard date yet, and they haven't even announced their soft date. We do know it was due for Q4, so more than likely they're going to launch version 1 of their DEX in Q1 of 2022. Whether it's January, February, March, we don't know that yet. We just have to wait for that information. But once that information is announced, that's when the rocket takes off. When we get closer to the date and APYs are announced, because there's going to be yield farming, single staking accounts, LP staking accounts, just like with PancakeSwap, Wagyu Swap, etc. We're probably going to see another surge. So we want to be prepared for that and be on the rocket before it takes off. That's key. We also now looked at the BlueZilla, and we've got some amazing partnerships. They've also invested in the Polkadot fund with Master Ventures. And Master Ventures is fully doxed. So we know there's a lot of credibility there with Carl, I think it's Carl Chase, who's behind Paid Ignition and on the board of a lot of companies, a lot of crypto companies. So you can tell that the BlueZilla team know what they're doing. They're a VC fund, they're an incubator, and they're a powerhouse team. So we know this. They've partnered strategically with Velas, and Velas is the powerhouse blockchain, which is now officially the sponsor of Ferrari, one of the biggest brands on the planet. So it just adds this extra level of credibility. So I just wanted to bring that to you because I'm reading your comments. Sometimes it annoys me that people don't do their own research or they don't do their own due diligence. But I thought I would just help connect some of the dots that I've already connected, and you'll see why I'm so bullish on the project of CrossSwap. I think it's going to be one of the best performers in 2022 because it's still very low and still very undervalued in my opinion. So let's finish with a quote. What's the quote today? Let's go with, let's think. Normally I have my book, but I don't have my book present with me. Let's go with, I guess the one that's popping into my head, the one that popped into my head 2 days ago, which was, to experience the ocean, you must first build the courage to leave shore. Now, we want to experience the ocean with financial health so we can really enjoy this banquet of life. Life is a great gift, I believe so, and money allows us to do great things in this world. But to experience that money, you have to build the courage to leave shore. And leaving shore often means investing in projects. But you need to do your own research. You need to do proper risk management. You need to go with the probabilities. And if certain things don't match your criteria, you just move on to the next project. So to experience the ocean, you first need to build the courage to leave shore. All right, have a good day, and I'll see you soon.